courtesy of ESPN Radio. Ken Seals and TCU walking it off in the Valero Alamo Bowl. A wild overtime finish last night. And that sets us up for an incredible slate of bowl games. We've got the New Year's 6 games coming up today. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl down in Texas between Ohio State and Miami. Myron, I know that we talked about this yesterday. Like, at this time of year, you're filled with cheese, you're filled with family, you're filled with fun, and you're filled with, I don't know what time it is, sort of vibes going on. And, like, I usually tell my time between Christmas and New Year's by what bowl game's on TV. So I'm watching the Music City Bowl last night, Michelle's Illinois Fighting Illini in Tennessee, going head-to-head in Nashville, and then I'm staying up thinking, I'm going to watch this TCU USC game and see what's going on here in the Valero Alamo Bowl. And I didn't actually make it to overtime, so I had to hear the call that you just heard there, Ken Seals walking it off with an overtime touchdown. I do not know how that little running back made his way around 4 defenders to stay in bounds, but walking it off in overtime. This is why we love bowl games, not just the ones that count for the CFP, but all of the bowl game magic. USC losing at the hand of TCU in overtime, 30-27. Did you stay up to watch the whole thing?
I watched most of it. I didn't get to overtime. But, I'm just in love with bowl season. I know some people want to cut back on the bowls, but, like, they still care. I know we talk so much about the portal and people opting out, but last night was an example of how important these bowl games still are. It's still so much fun, and I'm glad we have events like the Valero Alamo Bowl. Yeah,
so Ken Seals is the TCU quarterback. He had 2 scoring drives there, the final 5 minutes of regulation to force this game to go to overtime, and then he throws the game-winning touchdown pass. Jeremy Payne, the running back for TCU. So he catches that pass, as you heard the call there, courtesy of ESPN Radio. He's somehow able to stay in bounds. He makes his way around 4 defenders. And if you're watching us right now over on ESPN2, you see the contact balance of this young man to get both feet in just by the freaking inch of the sideline and the boundary. And just it was just an incredible way to cap off such an incredible game that we saw last night down in San Antonio. After the game, TCU quarterback Ken Seals with Victoria Arlen relishing in the moment.
Can you walk me through what you're feeling right now?
There's so much emotion. It's just been such a long time coming. I think, about all the time that we've spent together, all the work, the dreams that I've had that I didn't think were going to happen. I don't know. That's an incredible way to end it, and I'm just so thankful.
And you have your family and your friends here. How special is that after this whole journey?
My dad just had a heart attack. He's no longer with us. I guarantee you, he's going to be a wreck. I don't know where he's at, but I don't know. This is like better than any dream I could have had.
He was with you tonight, that's for sure. When that overtime was over, you guys realized you won. What was going through your head right then and there?
I was like, did he step out? I was like, no way he didn't step out. But, Jeremy Payne made a great play. That's what he does. He makes plays, and my job is to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. And I just thank God for the opportunity that I got to play this game and to have this opportunity tonight. And I'm so thankful for him and his plan for my life. And, staying faithful means something. And, I think he rewards those who are. So,
amen. You got rewarded tonight. We'll let you go celebrate with your team. Congratulations.
What an incredible post-game interview there. Ken Seals, the TCU quarterback, dealing with a very heavy heart playing in that game. You heard he was talking about his father no longer with him after having a recent heart attack. But just like this is why it matters. And I know so often during bowl season, we're talking about who's not playing and the teams that are opting out. But the ones that opt in to stay in, to finish out the year with the extra game, the game that you work for, to get your 6 wins, to become bowl eligible. Myron, you cover college sports. You're around this all the time. When you hear that, this is why it all matters still, why it's not about just NIL and the transfer portal and the teams that are playing in these New Year's 6 games and beyond. This ends their season. They're not playing for anything beyond this. TCU and USC, TCU walking off the winner here in overtime. Like, it's those moments why at least to me, it still matters. It's still something that I tune in to, even when I don't have stakes in either team.
Yeah, sometimes the adults make it hard to have fun because they want to talk about the portal and NIL and all these things that are part of an evolving game, and we forget the storylines like this. To your point, Courtney, for a lot of these guys, they're not focused on those things. Their agents are taking care of NIL and portal stuff. They want to play. And I think last night's game was an example of how much it matters still. Yes, some guys opt out. Yes, teams are going to change due to the new portal rules. But the guys who were on the field for USC and TCU in that game acted like that was a playoff game. And I think that, to me, is what we should be highlighting as well. Yes, there are new rules at play, but don't take away from the experiences that these young people are having and the fun that they're having as a part of this game, too.
And that was a lot of fun. That game was awesome. If you're just waking up with us here this morning on Unsportsmanlike, TCU walking it off in dramatic fashion, a 30-27 win over USC in the Valero Alamo Bowl. We want you to be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. You can call us 888. Say ESPN, 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it is a pepper thing. Almost got ahead of myself there because I'm talking about the CFP quarterfinal kicking off the action tonight. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic between Miami and Ohio State. So we know that this game and the line and the way that it...
The rules bees the rules. So if you put your name in the draft, I don't care if you're from Russia and you stay in the draft, you can't play college basketball. Well, that's only for American kids. What? If your name is in that draft and you got drafted, you can't play because that's our rule.
We just want to know the rules so we can abide by them. Like we don't know what's going on. So that's what I would say. Like, we need some leadership. We need somebody to step up and, like, here's how it's ran. Here's name, image, and likeness. Here's the transfer situation. Like, whatever. Like, we can go on to all these different examples and, like, give us the rules. We'll abide by them. You know, because that's who the rules are for. The rules aren't for the people who cheat. The rules are for the people that abide by them.
Are you pursuing anybody? Or
yeah, you have to. Whoever's out there, you try to pursue. You know, like, it's a weird world. You know, I'd like to get a 36-year-old with 4 kids and hungry for a job. I'd like to get one of those guys. We'll see if one of those guys is available.
In response to a wave of recent criticism from coaches, NCAA President Charlie Baker issued a statement Tuesday in an attempt to clarify the NCAA's position on the college eligibility for players with NBA experience. It read, in part, quote, "The NCAA has not and will not grant eligibility to any prospective or returning student athletes who have signed an NBA contract, including two-way contract. The NCAA is exercising discretion in applying the actual and necessary expenses by law to ensure that prospective student athletes with experience in American basketball leagues are not at a disadvantage compared to their international counterparts. Rules have long permitted schools to enroll and play individuals with no prior collegiate experience mid-year." For a little more perspective on the current and future state of college basketball, we're joined by Arkansas head coach John Calipari. John, how much clarity does what you heard from Charlie Baker on Tuesday give you and other coaches now going forward?
Well, the rule was if you put your name in the draft and then you stay in the draft, whether you get drafted or not, you can't play college basketball. I read the statement that, well, it was about a signed contract. I don't think any of us ever heard that. So we can't keep moving the goalpost. What we need to know is, what are you going to let us do? Why was that okay?
Well, John, let me ask you this, and stop me if I'm putting words in your mouth, but I get the sense that you and so many other coaches don't feel as if the NCAA has properly addressed this issue, and maybe so many others as it relates to NIL transfers and that nature. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, John, what gives you the confidence that they can do it at all?
Well, here's what I think has to happen. I think a group of us coaches has got to get together and say, look, here's what we think. Here are the 4 or 5 things we need to do. You ready for this? You get sued, you get sued. But I think if you're doing right by the young people, if you're doing right by the sport, you win those suits. If you're not being fair, you lose those suits. So I'm saying, get the transfer rule right. Get the eligibility. They just cleared a kid for his 8th year of college basketball. Did you hear what I said? No, there are no waivers like that. And then I think, again, having a rule that collectives can only deal with on-campus kids that have been there a year. I believe if this keeps going, there's going to be players that were drafted in the NFL that are going to come back and play college football. Is that what we want? All I'm saying is we can do these things to make this 70%, 80% better, and then work on all that other stuff.
For you, for the coaches and the job you're trying to do, how does all of this impact that on a daily basis?
Well, I'm not changing. I'm going to recruit freshmen. That's what I do. That's how you stay transformational versus transactional, that you help kids change their lives and their families' lives. But it's getting harder when a kid's 18 playing against 24 and 25-year-olds. So I've got to be careful to make sure the freshmen that I am recruiting can compete against older players. Because if they can't, either physically or mentally, or even skill-wise, that's going to be a problem. But there are coaches that have told me, I'm not recruiting any freshmen. That's not where we should be as an organization, as a profession on campuses. It shouldn't be that. And I just think, again, being transformational for young people, that's what we should be about. How do we do it? Let them transfer 4 times? Yeah. And now people are encouraging them to transfer because they benefit by them transferring. But you know what? Having a young person stay and fight and learn and grow at the same place with the same people, we're helping them prepare for life after sport. This is what we're getting away from because we're afraid we're going to get sued. We're afraid we're going to get sued. Hey, there are times you got to do the right thing, and if they want to sue, sue. Just do the right thing. And right now, if you ask all the coaches, they're not. And let me just say this. We should be involved as coaches in these decisions. And the reason is we're living it. And it's at our level. It's not at the AD's level. It's not at the presidential level. It's not with the commissioners. It's with the coaches. And we should be able to sit down and say, here's what we think can solve some of these issues. I want a kid to leave to say, this would be great. Had a great experience. I grew. I got my degree. And I'm debt-free. And I have a couple $1 million. I would be ecstatic about that. Why don't we strive for that than what we're striving for right now?
Yeah, because I don't think anyone agrees with anything that's happening right now in terms of the future of the game. John, as always, appreciate the time and especially the perspective here.
Thanks.